Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for artisanal Bible study. That means it's made fresh every day just for you. Come on in, sit down. We got a great verse today. We're going to look at verse 6 in Psalm 1. So verse 6 in Psalm 1 concludes this psalm and draws together all the pieces of the psalm very concisely. It's a nice ending. It ties all the ends into a knot, because we have all these streams that sort of flow into verse 6. We have the blessed man. He doesn't walk in the way of the wicked, but he delights in the law of the Lord. He meditates in it day and night. And so, this is what he's like. He's like a tree. It's planted by the channels of water. It bears his fruit on time. His leaf doesn't wear out, doesn't wither. And all he does prospers. But then there's the wicked man. And he's not like that. He's more like the chaff. The wind drives the chaff away. See, so it just here one moment, there it's gone the next. Therefore, the wicked are not going to stand up in the judgment. Now, I didn't talk about that yesterday, that word to stand. It's oftentimes translated to stand. It's the word for arise. It means to get up, to rise up. Usually it means to get up out of the bed or to rise up from the chair. It's a command a lot of times in the Scriptures. Most famously, it's the command that the shipmaster gave to Jonah when he was down in the hold of the ship sleeping. And the shipmaster came down there and said, "Get up, call on your God." Well, that's our word here. So the wicked aren't going to get up in judgment. They're gone. They've been blown away. They're not going to stand in judgment. And the sinner will not be in the congregation of the righteous. So the word stand there does double duty. We have it as the verb in that first phrase, and we also have it as the verb in the second phrase, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. God's not going to allow that. The wicked won't be allowed to participate in the congregation of the righteous. And then today, verse 6, for the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. So the way he knows. The Lord knows. He knows everything about the righteous. He has every hair on their head counted. He knows their comings and their goings. He knows their risings up and their lyings down. He knows when they're in travail. He knows when they're in tribulation. He knows when they're in peril. And he doesn't allow the evil to overcome them. The Lord knows the way of the righteous because it's his way. And he's the one that's authored it. He's the one that maintains it. And then we have the way of the wicked. See how this ties everything together? So all of this in verses 1, 2, and 3, the Lord knows it. And all of this in verses 4 and 5, the Lord knows that too. The way of the wicked will perish. And it's just not, well, let's just break that up into two pieces. The wicked will perish, right? Because every man is going to die. Every man is going to be gone. One day, there will be no more you. You will be, your body at least, will be in the grave. You will be in your eternal destiny at that time. That's the destiny of every person, is to die. We have one life to live, and then we go to the judgment. We die, and then we go on to judgment. So the wicked are going on to judgment. They're not going to be found, but the way of the wicked perishes. You see, the righteous, they plow in the earth, and they sow a seed that will one day in eternity be enjoyed. That harvest will be enjoyed in eternity, but the wicked, it's like they're plowing in the water. You know, they leave a trail behind them, but the waves just soon cover it over. There's nothing's going to come of what they do. Their path, their way, their method, their philosophy, their attitude, all of that is going to be gone one day. The Lord knows the way of the righteous. The way of the wicked, it's going to perish. I hope you'll join me again next time. We're going to look at Psalm 2, and we'll look at Psalm 2 next week on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.